Greetings and salutations, all you beautiful individuals. It is another epi of League Unlock. Eric and Mark here, fine-feathered individuals for a nostalgia-filled type of episode. Number one, this weekend started. You had Perks doing an interview with Caps, and he's some capacity analyst advisory role with G2 Esports now. And now we have this Legends tournament going on in Korea with a trio of reunions with an EU squad featuring Tourney, Jankos, Nemesis, Rekkles, and Wadid in the bot lane. Obviously, Rekkles has played with Tourney, Jankos, and Nemesis, so a full reunion across the board.
I love Tourney on this, just in this whole experience, because he frankly doesn't matter what region you want to throw down, pretty much outside of China and the LPL. You could throw Tourney onto any region, on any type of all-star squad in that situation. So happy to see him here with the rest of the EU squad. Jankos, of course, been on the LCK broadcast. Wadid, very much longer on that LCK broadcast, bringing all these guys together for this tournament. Yes, the old heads are turning around and hitting the Summoner's Rift.
Yeah, and obviously, it had to be a pretty strict criteria for an EU squad to even be here. You had to be in Korea, number one, which, okay, probably knocks out a lot of these guys, and then actually have an EU connection. So yeah, Wadid and Tourney on the broadcast, as you mentioned, and then the other three have just been boot camping and grinding solo queue in Korea, and lucky that they got to put together such a nice group who went 3-1 in this for fun double round robin that only actually features 3 teams.
Yeah, it's one of those ones you got to keep yourself in check in that regard, knowing what you're seeing at this tournament and how things have gone. But yeah, you can see some of the old synergy is still there for some of these guys and some of the action that is going on. You see in this one, and that 3-1 record is a good reflection of that for them.
And obviously these other, Korean rosters, the Korean Legends squad, Marin, Umpty, Pawn, Gugo, Gorilla. Gugo, by the way, played like 1 year in 2013. So it's not exactly the typical Legends that you would maybe talk about. And that's probably why they went 0-4 so far. The CHZKK, which is the sponsor of this whole event squad, Cuvée, Ambition, Tempt, Bang, and Barrel. Okay, those are some more familiar approaching Legend stats.
Yeah, I think that one is a little bit more of a kind of stronger, tougher roster that you can see in that regard, but still one of these ones where you're looking through the old guard, the history, the legends, when we do our, top 10 all-time players in their position type of list and everything like that. These are very familiar names that you are going to encounter in that regard for it. And I just want to say, I feel bad. Marin's Rumble, it was doing so well, so much, only to falter at the end with the rest of the squad.
Yeah, and obviously, it's rare that an EU squad's taken down some of these, Korean Legend squads, but this is a for-fun tournament. There's some money on the line, and of course, as is with any for-fun tournament, you see this roster, and immediately we're all going, oh my god, these guys could compete in the LEC right now if all these guys were here. A couple of them are, not active per se. Barrel's a current player on these Korean Legends. He just doesn't happen to have a squad. But Rekkles playing AD carry, proving he's still got it down in that bot side.
Yeah, it's absolutely a little bit of that. A little bit of some, just, hints, some vibes of the Lost Ratones action that was going on, seeing just this group come together and play the way that they are, and some of the energy around it, I think, is similar to it. And absolutely, one of these ones where in that post-Lost Ratones type of world, any type of situation where it isn't a full official event or the main region, league route and everything like that, when you're outside of that and you find some action that is exciting, you find the reason that you want to pull for the team, the group, whatever, absolutely does encroach on that Lost Ratones type of territory where you are now and thinking and having these conversations. And I think this is a wonderful tournament for that, not only from the perspective of looking at the EU squad, but as you laid out some of these old Korean legends that we are looking back on and seeing and saying, oh, maybe, you could find a way to take a kick at the can or bring in some of that veteran presence onto one of those current rosters right now.
Yeah, and I mean, veteran is definitely the theme on all of these, obviously, legendary squads. But hey, kudos to them fitting in a little for fun 2-day event. It's, day one's behind us. Tomorrow they're going to wrap up with, I assume they're going to be some best of Fearless action. And there's a little bit of a cash prize. But again, most of these EU guys are streaming already in Korea, so it's just bonus content for them to be able to, I think all three of the boot camping guys were streaming this whole thing, so you could see the comms and everything. Again, a la Los Ratones.
And I think it is actually kind of the perfect timing as well. This is exactly why you have soups, salads, appetizers come out right before the main meal. Get yourself ready for that big dish, the main event. This is exactly kind of what it feels like getting this event now. And again, for fun, no, not so serious, but you're still getting involved with it and having some good energy around the event towards this weekend where things will really ramp up and that dial gets fully zoomed up when you're looking at the schedules that we will have in the LCK playoffs and everyone else getting their MSI fully sorted out. That is absolutely something that I can see as this is being the appetizer for the remainder of the week that we've got left for us on the League of Legends side of the world.
Yeah, and again, it's obviously very chill. Nice to see these big names and dream about them maybe returning to the LEC. Less so for some of the LCK guys. I don't think there's a whiff of that happening. Little bit of other news. We had your boy, Faker, added to Time Magazine's 100 most influential people in sports for 2026. Kind of crazy to have that when we're only like halfway through 2026. But nonetheless, always the absolute icon, pioneer for not just League of Legends, but esports, deserving of being on this list. They highlight he's got a 9-story building named after him, 6-time world champion, all these lovely accolades for him. But just a little golf clap for Mr. Faker carrying the torch of esports internationally.
Yeah, and I think it's one of those ones where, again, there's varying degrees about what this type of recognition means and what type of value it carries to not only, obviously, more importantly, the individual in Faker and how he feels about something like this and this recognition, but also the fandom, right? And how they feel about getting this type of spotlight and whatnot, recognition and everything else. I think it is important that League of Legends does get featured like this. And again, it just reminds you how grateful you are that it is a person, a figure like Faker that is that ultimate representative of the sport and of gaming more or less in general to the regular public. To have that and the least amount of controversies possible, I think you could go on that list and find him to be the least controversial guy to be on that list. That would be pretty crazy. But very happy to see him get this broader public, pop culture type of reference and recognition at this point.
Yeah, and as always with these, especially timed lists, there's some sus one. You've got commissioners of leagues, FIFA, NFL, yeah, okay. But it's still, you've got LeBron James, you've got Leo Messi, the absolute icons of their respective sports, and Faker is absolutely deservingly, from you and I, to be in that conversation. But again, seeing it hit mainstream like this is just, always brings a single tear to my eye,
Yeah. It's one of those ones where it's so mainstream. It depends on how much you're actually valuing that and for what reason and whatnot. But at the very least, for someone like me, and again, I know a lot of our viewers are going to be younger people, where you're talking about this to, say, your parents or someone else that is older, having this type of thing where you can reference that and go, oh yeah, our GOAT, our LeBron James, this type of guy, he's here on the Times top 100 list type of thing like that. And it's a nice little feather in your cap recognition for the entirety, I think, of the League of Legends community. And again, that reminder that we are so blessed to have Faker be that icon that does shine the way for the rest of us.
A win for the unkillable Demon King is a win for everybody in the esports space. But we'll be back to break down day 2 action probably from this For Fun tournament, some global rankings as well. But that is it today for League Unlocked. Eric and Mark here with you, absolute stunners. Thanks for hanging out as always, and you best believe we will catch you on that flippity flip.